yeah, yeah, yo. Ooh. I'm in a singing mood today. What up, family? It's your boy Vince W. Matthews, and welcome to Jesus, Jokes, and Jam. I'm in a singing mood today, so y'all just please forgive me or not. I'm excited about another episode of Jesus Jokes and Jams, and I I'm anticipating great things for this podcast this time around. I really am. I really am. Yes, I is. And I'm just excited. So I've been full of songs for these last few days. So if I just burst into a song, just it's Jesus jokes and jams. I don't think we did no jams on the last episode, but I got I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. A song that I've been thinking about is crazy. I've been thinking about this song. Let me see if I me. Let me see. Out on the floor, there is nothing, but there ain't nobody there but us. Girl, when you dance, there's a magic that must be love. Just take it slow, 'cause we got so far to go. When you feel that heat, we can ride the boogie, share that beat of love. I wanna rock with you all night, dance you in today, all night sunlight. I wanna rock all night. We're gonna rock the night away. That song been in my spirit. Well, I just been thinking about that song. It's on in my head. You can't go wrong with the Michael, huh? The Michael. But listen, man, we got some stuff to talk about today, and I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know how it's gonna go. I jot things down. I put them down, and we just go from there, you know. And so, yeah, we'll see where this goes, and just kind of go from there. So I've been just thinking about um, life, just life period, and just basically, just thinking about my life and different things like that. And one of the things that I know that I really, really struggled with and still to a certain extent struggle with is my confidence. Um, it's something that I've 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 always struggled with, and so I've been really just kind of trying to sort this thing out about confidence and why I feel like the way I feel. I mean, because I've gotten a whole lot better. Ooh, a whole lot better about occupying space. Because let me tell you something. This is how it is. It's like, I'm the youngest of my parents' siblings. And I think maybe that had something to do with it. We were raised in a great environment, you know what I'm saying? Nothing terrible. But I'm just trying to figure out why I always felt like I was never enough, or why I lacked in confidence. And so I want to encourage you, as I'm going through this process with myself, is asking you a question. Why are you so afraid? Now, that's a piercing question for a lot of people. Why are you so afraid? Let me tell you the story real quick. All right. In time of this video, not long ago, there was a shooting near our house. In our area, there are a few apartments that are close by. Actually, where our backyard, our fence is, like if somebody wanted to, they could jump the fence in this apartment complex. And there was a shooting that happened. These two people got in an argument. I think the girlfriend had a boyfriend, and then the old boyfriend came, and then they started getting into beef. And so a guy had a gun. Shots were fired. People started calling the cops. This guy is running. This guy hops our fence, is in our backyard, and we start to see him on our Ring camera. The kids hear the shots. My wife hears the shots. She freaks out, and she starts just being real fearful. And now the kids are afraid. She's afraid, and she starts talking in fear. No shots at her. No, nothing against. I'm just telling you the story. She's fearful. She's like, "Oh my God," and she starts to shake. Like, I've never seen my wife react like this ever in life. We've been married 10 years, and I've never seen her in this predicament. Me, on the other hand, I'm so in another zone. Like, I wish she would. I wish, I'm so, like, I'm trying to protect my family. Not like I want him to come in or whatever. This guy had a gun. He takes off running on foot. He ain't got nothing but some black socks on. He's running or whatever. They catch the dude. They get him. I'm gonna just tell you the end. They caught the dude. They finally caught him. They caught him that night. Cause I told my wife, I said, they gonna catch him tonight. Don't worry about nothing. God's not giving us a spirit of fear. And in that moment, she was like, I understand what you're saying, babe. I understand what you're saying. But in that moment, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Now, mind you, we came from an apartment complex, right? Before we moved to the house, and shots fired and the cops being there was like normal, right? But I ain't never seen her react like that. We got a car broken into a couple times. Her friend came and her window was broken into, like all kind of crazy stuff. Thank God we didn't have no visitors, because we we had a family of roaches that would just parlay in our living arrangements when we were in this apartment. I mean, they would just be like, "Hey, man, you got some more of them nachos? Yeah, them things was fire. You put the little taco seasoning on that's up. That, man, whose idea was it? You, the wife? Because let me tell you, my wife don't even like nachos, but those, fam, let me tell you something. Straight fire. We can't consume too much because our roach's body's built, but I'm telling you, that was good. Anyway. But where was I at? I done lost my story. Oh yeah, we moved from that apartment, and now we're in this house where we're at. And so all of that happened, but I've never seen her react like this. We're looking at the Ring camera, seeing this guy in our yard. The country in me, like, cause I don't own a gun. I need to get one for real, cause stuff like this. He come in the yard and be done with it. You know what I'm saying? But he's hiding behind a tree in our yard, not knowing that there's a camera on our door. Our Ring camera is recording him. And that was like chilling. That freaked my wife out. We're watching this real time on the camera. I'm trying to go out there, like, not be stupid, but I just like and he had a gun with him. He had a gun on him. And it was so crazy of how much fear that was on my wife's eyes, my kids. Everybody slept. The kids slept in the bed. We all it's me, my wife, and my three daughters. We all slept in our bed together. Well, they took over my bed. Wasn't enough room. I slept on the air mattress on the floor. We all slept in the same room. And several days after that, still to this day, my wife is like tripping. Babe brought me to the car. Well, which I always do anyway, but she's like, watch your surroundings, look around, this, that, or whatever. Man, that's some things that have happened in people's lives that they are traumatized. They are fighting a battle. It's crazy because fear is a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? It gets into all sorts of your body. It gets into your soul, your emotions. It gets to all these different areas of your body. And then it begins to get into your heart and mind and then takes over your life. And then when you're fearful, the confidence that you're supposed to have in God and in yourself and what he put inside you, it gets suppressed so bad that you can't even fully do what you're called to do, because it's almost like you're fighting against yourself. And so now you become somebody who you're not supposed to be because you're fearful. We are fearfully and wonderfully made, is what the scripture says. But now and the scripture also says, God has not given us the spirit of fear. Then it goes on to say, but of power, love, and here it is, a sound mind. A sound mind. And so, why are you so afraid? And many of you are afraid because things go into your past. Like I took therapy and I need to go back like ASAP. And every session that I had, it always went back to things in your childhood. It always go back to things in your past. And now a lot of us are trying to figure out why we are like the way we are, why we're wired the way we are. And I talked about this in the last episode, but I think it's very important that we dive into these things with Jesus and therapy, huh? And I'm talking to myself, Vince, I need to go back because I begin to have a perspective of asking a lot of questions. When you're a kid, you're always asking your parents a lot of questions. Why is this? Who is that? What does that do? What is that? Who is that? How do you spell that? Like they're asking questions. And I remember I was watching Cedric Entertainer. He was like, one of his kids embarrassed him because he had some company over, and one of his kids asked him a question that he didn't know. He was like, "Hey, Dad, do animals commit suicide?" He was like, "Man, I don't know to be asking me stuff like that. Like, I don't know the answer to, embarrass me in front of my family. Google it." And he began to tell a joke about, like an animal saying, "Man, you know what? Forget this," and then jump in front of a car or whatever like that. But I say that to say that is that we don't know everything, and we need to find out why we are the way we are. And listen, this is why it's so hard for us to connect with God and all these different things like that, or build relationships, because there's so many things in us that we don't even know why it is the way it is. And we are like stuck on stupid, really. Why are you so afraid? Many of you are afraid because of things that happened in your past. You don't want to move. I ain't finna apply for this job, man. I done put in 50 applications, 100 applications. I ain't finna do that. I ain't finna set myself up like that. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Forget that. For real, like forget that. Nah, I'm not finna do that to myself. I'm not. I'm just not finna put myself in a predicament to be hurt again. So I want to read the scripture. Hebrews 13:6. It says, "So we can say with confidence, the Lord is my helper, so I will have no fear. What can mere people do to me?" Another translations, the TPT translation says, so we can say with great confidence, I know the Lord is for me, and I will never be afraid of what people may do to me. So, I mean, confidence is something that God gives us. He gives us peace. He gives us grace. He gives us gifts. He gives us talents. He gives us all of these things. He created us to be creative because He is the creator of creation. Those are some bars right there. He's a creator. He created His creation to be creative. One of the hardest things to do is to be creative or walk into purpose in what God called you to when you don't have confidence. I mean, do it what the root word of confidence is what? Confide, right? To confide in means to trust. We can't confide in God. We don't trust God enough. We don't trust God. Now we don't trust ourselves. So now when God is nudging us or pushing us, man, something told me to do. That ain't no something. That's God pushing you into your purpose, telling you to do something you're supposed to be doing. But let me tell you this. Many times when God tell you to do something, you ain't always going to be happy about it. I'm going to take a pause right there. Let's breathe in. Breathe out. Many times God will tell you to do something, you will not be happy about it. Not my will, but your will be done. I think it's important that we get this confidence that the Lord wants us to have, because if not, we're going to be walking around like half of a person, not even operating on our full potential. Confidence, confide in. I mean, I've lacked confidence all my life, to be honest. From where I worked, from the things that I did, the things that I was good at that I stopped, I started back, stopped. I mean, this podcast, I'm good at it. I'm this is what I do. I'm a communicator in every aspect, whether it's music, singing, writing, acting, preaching, teaching, coaching. I'm a communicator. Communicator. That's what I do. That's what I was called to. That's what I was born on earth to do. To communicate. And I haven't been communicating. Even through text, if I'm posting inspirational things, encouragement, I'm a communicator. Because sometimes I be like, it's cool to write it, but hey, push record, let's go live or something like that. I want people to see me, feel me, my energy, because I'm an energy guy. Even as far as being a singer, like I don't have the craziest runs, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I do have is energy. You gonna feel that vibe. You gonna feel me. You know, you gonna feel what I'm bringing. You know what I'm saying? You gonna feel my heart's desire as far as trying to engage you, whether it's comedy, you know, doing comedy. No, you're gonna feel the engagement I'm trying to pull out. I remember when I had transferred from another school, right? I had moved, and I wanted to join the basketball team. And actually, when I came, it was like perfect timing for me to join the basketball team. And I was like, man, I'm gonna go hoop. You know what I'm saying? I was hooping. I wanted to hoop. I was pretty decent. I was a pretty decent player, you know. They called me Rip. They said I look like Rip Hamilton. I'm gonna put the picture right here. Yeah, we do look alike. And so they said my mannerisms like him. I shoot like him. All that stuff like that. And so I said I want to go on the basketball team. Now, mind you, I grew up in my dad's church playing the drums, right? And my dad was at this particular church. God called him down there, and I'm gonna get my dad on and let him tell his story, because it's a very interesting story of how all this came about and how he ended up in Newton, Texas, and how that all came about. So it's really crazy how that all came about. So I'm in Newton. I transferred schools, and the reason I transferred schools is because my mom and them started the church down in Newton, and they started a daycare also. And so they were down there all the time doing ministry, doing the daycare, and I was home alone by myself, right? I was in Silsby. They was like, hey, you want to transfer down here? Because we always down here all the time. At least you can have some family down here. And I was like, okay, cool. Transferred my sophomore year after the Christmas break going into January. Transferred my sophomore year. I'm in Newton. I'm getting registered. I'm coming in or whatever like that. And so they're trying to rearrange my schedule. And I go my sophomore year. And so I'm there, and through me playing drums and my dad, fellowship with different churches in that area, I met this guy. He was a drummer. I was a drummer or whatever like that. And so when I get to school, he's on the basketball team. I was like, he on the basketball team? Okay, I know he could play drums, but I didn't know he could. No, and I'm not saying the person's name on purpose. If you know, you know, you know what I'm talking about. So what to say? If you know, you know. If you don't, then you don't. Oh, whatever. So I get there. I was like, oh, he played drums. And then I get there, and I'm on the basketball team. I make the basketball team, and I'm not starting. This joker is starting before me. And I'm trying to say this nicely, but let's just be real. Let's just jokes and jams. Be real. He was trash. I was like, how is he starting in front of me? He is hot garbage. He is rat boo boo. I'm like, how is he starting in front of me? And then I didn't figure it out till later, but I really didn't know specifically what it was. But what I assumed, the assumption was because he knew the plays and I didn't. Now, you're probably saying, you're talking about confidence. What are you talking about? So it goes back to confidence because I never spoke up to let the coach know, yo, I'm better than this dude. I need to be starting. If I got to stay late to learn the plays or whatever, I guarantee you. And every time I would go in, I would get a good 4 points, 6 points. One time I got a couple blocks and a steal. I'm hustling. I'm rebounding. One dude, I remember one game specifically, we were away, at another school. One of the star players shot the basketball. I got the rebound right under that, put it up for 2 points. It was like, ooh. I'm blocking shots. I'm like, I'm everywhere. And you can go ahead and get back on the bench. But I'm better than him. But I never said anything because I let myself believe that, because he's starting in front of me, then I must not be good enough. Now, I go back to what I was saying. I struggle with confidence. I let myself believe that I wasn't good enough to start simply because I wasn't starting, knowing that I was better than this guy. I mean, he was hot garbage. I don't even know if he scored any points. He knew the plays. He knew where to be. He knew where to position himself at. He was slow. He couldn't shoot. Couldn't dribble. Like, none of this. But he knew the plays. Let me pause right there. Some of you are frustrated in life. You're kind of like absolutely living a life that you absolutely hate because you know you got the goods. You know you got the gift. You got the talent. You got all this creativity. But one thing you don't have is knowledge of the industry, knowledge of the environment, knowledge of that specific field or that specific culture. You don't know the culture enough in order for someone to entrust you. Oh, boy, I'm talking to myself right now. To entrust you with a job, to entrust you with certain responsibilities. You know you're better than this person. And you're not bragging, but the proof is in the pudding. You're better than this person. You're more creative. You're more smart. You're more savvy. You can think on your feet. This person has the job simply because they've been in the industry, in the field. They know it. They know the culture. They know the environment. And they're basically just holding up space. They the weak link. So I want to encourage you to speak up. Say something. Prove yourself. What I lack in knowledge, I'm going to outwork everybody in there. I show in creativity. What I lack in this, I show in creativity. I show in thinking on my feet quick. Problem solving. Remember all these problems y'all had? Yeah, I came to you and I gave you solutions. Remember this? All this problems y'all had with the budgeting, I came and I gave you 3 different ways that you could save money. You picked one of the ways, and now we saving millions of dollars for the company. I showed you that. I told you I can do this. I might not know the specific software or design or all this other stuff, but I'm your person. Step out, y'all. Go and do that. Even with singing, I lacked confidence. And hold on, let me go back to the story. This dude, he started in front of me the whole school year, the whole season, because I didn't say nothing. Some of you are not where you want to be because you ain't saying nothing. You know, there's a season for you to be quiet and take the lower, but right now you should be saying something. Speak up. Show your worth. Huh? Let your work speak for it. Who did this? I did that. How did you do this? Oh, I've been doing that for years. I know how to do that. Really? Mm-hmm. I can show you how I do it. Yeah, meet me in my office. Boom. There you go. I mean, I let this dude start in front. I don't even remember him even trying to shoot a shot in the game because he knew he was trash rat. I don't even know what that is, but we gonna roll with it, trash rat. And I let him sit up there, and I can't say his name because he's got some record. Let's just say a record. And I gotta tell another story, and I can't say this person's name either. Because, man, what's up with these musicians? They just wilding out. Anyway, I didn't have confidence, man. I just didn't. And now I'm at a season of my life, it's like, if I see a problem, I'm going to address it. If there's something that could help an industry, church, organization, culture, whatever, anything that I'm involved in, I'm going to speak up. I have to. Because it's not fair to everyone else if I have a solution and I'm not saying anything to solve that problem. I'm making myself suffer and everybody else that's a part of this group, this organization, this entity, this church, this ministry, this organization, this club, whatever it is, job. You are a problem solver. Let me tell you something. Many of you are praying for God to give you a blueprint for certain things, and God said, I'm not doing no blueprint because you are the blueprint. You can't Google it. You can't find it. But because you don't have confidence in yourself, you be like, man, whatever. Hold up. Let me show you something. I want to show you something. Let's go Exodus 4. Exodus 4. Y'all know Moses. We're going to talk about Moses. Exodus 4, 10. I think we're on the 10th chapter. But Moses pleaded with the Lord, "Oh Lord, I'm not very good with words. I never have been, and I'm not now. Even though you have spoken to me, Lord, I know what you said, but I get tongue-tied and my words get tangled." Then the Lord asked Moses, "Who makes a person's mouth? Who decides whether people speak or do not speak?" Hear or do not hear? See or do not see? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. And then right there, that's an exclamation mark. Go, like I told you to. I will be with you as you speak, and I will instruct you in what to say. But Moses pleaded again, second time, right here. Lord, please send anyone else. Then the Lord became angry with Moses. All right, he said, what about your brother, Aaron, the Levite? I know he speaks well. And look, he is on his way to meet you now. He will be delighted to see you. Talk to him and put the words in his mouth. I will be with both of you. He did Moses a solid as you speak, and I will instruct you both in what to do. Aaron will be your spokesperson to the people. He will be your mouthpiece, and you will stand in the place of God for him, telling him what to say, and take your shepherd staff with you and use it to perform the miracle signs I have shown you. Moses, right? Pleading with God. God's like, do what I told you to do. Some of you are confident, you're scared, you're afraid. Do it afraid. Do it unconfident. I don't think that's even a word. You ain't got to know everything, just do it. Nike, just do it. For real. Like, come on, fam, just do it. I need you to do it. There's some changes that you need to make in your life that you are afraid to do because you lack confidence in God and in yourself. And you feel like if you just pray or you just ask God, he'll be like, oh, I just hope so. Maybe it'll change. It ain't going to change. If you don't do the work, it ain't going to change. So what I need you to do is do the work. And sometimes we get frustrated because God has already instructed us on what to do. And I'm going to talk about this. A lot of times I'm going to talk about something I've already talked about because it's going to tie in together. So bear with me. Listen, sometimes we be trying to ask God to tell us we want God to tell us to do something. God said, I ain't finna tell you nothing because what I told you the last time you ain't done, so I need you to do this. And the reason we don't do it because we don't have no confidence. Moses, Lord, please send anyone else. Because what happens, you're like, man, I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. I don't have the people. I don't have the expertise in this job. Apply again. Apply again. Apply this time because last time you was trying to do it in your own strength. Sometimes God will allow us to get a no just to see if we're going to still go back and do it. Or just to see if we're going to still stay in the fight. He will allow the no's. Check this out. He will allow the no's to see if you say, ain't no way I'm quitting. God will allow the no's to see if you will say, there ain't no way I'm quitting. He'll let them say no. He'll let them lose your application. He'll let them be like, no. He'll let them let you get the interview and then don't get it. Somebody else get it who's not even as qualified as you or just not even as smart as you or as creative as you. Yeah, I'm a musician, right? So I'm a musician, man. Hold up. Let me just let that marinate. Let me let that marinate for a little bit. Your wheels are turning. You thinking about it right now. I know it hurted. I know. I know. Look, I know. I know. I know. I lack confidence. I'm telling you. I had lacked confidence all my life. Singing. I didn't want to sing and do all this stuff. Now I sing anywhere. Sing anything. Sing. I sing nights a place, right? I sing at a church tonight. and tomorrow. And preach. I got a full weekend. Full week. Shooting this podcast, singing, leading worship, preaching. You know what? Sometimes that'll throw you though. You like, God, you're using me to help all these people, but I can't even handle my own situation. I'm struggling with these bills right now. I'm struggling in my family right now. I'm struggling in my marriage right now. I'm struggling with my kids right now. I'm struggling at my church right now. I'm struggling at my job right now. You got me all over the world doing all this stuff, helping all these people, helping my family, my friends, co-workers, all this stuff, and I can't even do nothing for my own situation. God said, trust me. Trust you? Well, it seems like trusting you ain't doing nothing. Trust me. If you're putting in the work, you can say, I'm trusting God. Because this is the thing. Don't ever say you can't hear from God, or don't say you can't hear from God, or you're not hearing from God when your Bible is closed. Okay, I'm done. Y'all have a good one. If your Bible is closed, you better not say you ain't hearing from God. I can't hear from God. You're right. You ain't gonna hear from him. He speaks through his words, circumstances, and he speaks to people. And for those of you who got yourself locked up in the closet, I ain't going nowhere. It's me, myself, and I. All I need is King Jesus. Don't need nobody else. Okay. God works through people. He designed it that way because he wants us to be in community with each other. And maybe that's why you lack confidence, because you ain't got the right community around you to say, yo, you dope. You are great at this. You need to pursue this. You need to go try to find a job in this. You would kill in this and make good money. You'll never have to worry about bills ever again. You don't have to never worry about staying up late, looking at your car, hoping they don't pull it off while you sleep. You got to never worry about eviction notice again. Man. Singing, I doubted myself. Like, all these people around me, they can sing the roof off and stuff, but they can't do me, and I can't do them. And I'm great. I'm glad it's designed like that. Can't nobody beat me being me but me. Can't nobody beat me being me. Even playing the drums, right? I can't say this guy's name, but this guy was a beast. He could pick up any instrument and just learn it. At that point, all I felt I could do was, and as I was younger, my confidence was trash. It was like, yo, you good, man. You the best around. You better than him. I was like, first of all, no, I'm not. The dude is a monster on this here drums. And we fellowship with churches, and this dude was he was way ahead of his time. And everybody's excited about, yeah, we gonna sing. It's gonna be a good time and all this stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, this dude finna embarrass me again. Because in those environments, we say we're gonna lift up the name of Jesus, but it was really a competition. It was a battle of the choirs, really. That's what it was. We have a program. We put your choir on. All this other stuff. And this dude was a man. And then next thing you know, I came to his church again, another year. He had a guitar, lead guitar. I said, God dog. Next thing you know, he had the doggone keyboard. I was like, okay, you win. God dog. It ain't a competition, but dang, you play everything. And this is before I came into singing. I didn't even know I could sing, because I at least could say, I bet you can't sing though. Grab that mic. Let me run circles around you. Which it's bad to say that when we're supposed to be doing this for God, but in those specific cultures, that's what it was about. Trying to outdo one another, which was terrible. Very terrible. It's just crazy to think about stuff like that. I remember when I was a kid, right? Oh my God. I remember when I was a kid, uh, and I caught myself liking a girl or whatever like that. I was, see, lacked confidence, right? I was super shy, super duper shy. I know that's hard to believe, but I was super duper shy. And so what I would do is I would, if I liked a girl, I would I would write them poems. Poems. How you say that? Poems? Is it poems? Poems? That just sound real country. Poems? I don't know. Letters that rhyme. We'll say the haiku, haichu. Hmm. Uh, and so I wrote these letters, and it would go something like this: You're pretty as cotton candy and sweet as pie. I love you forever to the day I die. Boy, I had bars. Boy, I had bars. What? You couldn't tell me I wasn't Tupac out here or something, huh? Lucky, poetic justice. What? I mean, you couldn't tell me I wasn't being poetic, huh? Prophetic. What? Songs of Solomon. What? You couldn't tell me. And so I would do that, and I would wrap it up, right? Fold it on a letter. This is back when we write for cell phones. And I would throw it in the locker. What I would do is, too, sometimes, for some reason, I was shy, but I wasn't afraid to talk to the girls, the girl I like, her friends, so I would kind of get an insight or whatever. But most definitely throw that note in that locker, right? Yeah. That junk work, too. Lunch? Yeah, she coming to see your boy. I read your letter. Oh, yeah? What you think about it? It was nice. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. Your boy out here, huh? Being all poetic and stuff. Yeah. Just call me Cut Pete. Cut Pete. I remember that? Yeah, Poetic Justice. Yeah, go watch the movie. Look at the clip. Uh and so that's what I did. But now that like thinking back, I was thinking about this the other day. I was just like, yo, I lacked confidence to talk to anybody. I was so shy that I was afraid to go up to McDonald's to the register or something, order my food. I would have people do that for me. Crazy. Crazy. Just shy. Just people call it shy, but it's lacking confidence. You're lacking confidence in what God put in you. You're lacking confidence. People say, you ain't supposed to be having trust in yourself. Yes, you do. I'm trusting myself because God made me. He put this in me. So I'm entrusting. I'm trusting myself because I'm entrusting what God put in me. I'm trusting God, trusting in myself, trusting what He put into me, and everything that He put into me, I'm about to dominate with it. I'm going to activate it. I'm going to use it. Man, you got to keep going. Like, for real. It's time out for living this life that you don't like or that you hate. That's why some people don't go to church or they stay home and they just be like, what's the use? You got to get in the word. You got to get in a safe environment where you can become vulnerable and talk to people and let them know, like, yo, I'm struggling. We had a message come through, you know what I'm saying? And a young lady, reached out to my wife and she helped her. And she was like, yo, I hear from God more by myself. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah, I understand that. Because it be loud in church. And sometimes you can't really hear, what's going on. But come on in. And chopped it up, My wife chopped it up with her, gave her some scriptures, prayed with her and all that stuff like that. But some people are uncomfortable in church because we don't have a culture. Some environments don't have a culture of people being poured into properly. So I lacked confidence in everything as far as playing ball, podcasting. Like I didn't want to come back and do this. I was like, everybody got a podcast. What I need to do come podcasting for? Can I be consistent this time? What you lacking confidence in? Why are you saying no? Go find somebody else. And all the excuses that you're making up, God's like, that's why I'm calling you. I ain't got no money. Okay. Well, I'm telling you to do this. If you do this, you'll never have to worry about money again. And you're going to tell people, God told me to do this. I did it. I stuttered. I couldn't talk. I was country. I was jumbling on my words, but I kept doing it. I kept showing up. That's what God wants you to do. That's the first step. Just keep showing up. When I was in my depression state, that's one of the things I did. I didn't stop going to church. I don't know how I did it. I know it was just for majority of the part, whatever I'm trying to say. Uh, Mainly was out of formality. I'm not even gonna lie. I was just going to church because I know I was supposed to go to church, and I go to church and I had a position, and I was supposed to get the word. But I kept doing that. At least I was in the house. At least I was hearing some form of encouragement or inspiration. I didn't neglect that at all. Now I did fail in a lot of areas, marriage, and and I say fail, I don't mean like cheated. I mean just like not being intentional about it. Failed in parenting, wasn't intentional about that. Relationships, or even just developing and strengthening my relationships all around and with God. Yeah, keep showing up. Because if you don't keep showing up, then what you'll do is you'll slowly disappear. Ooh. Thank you, Holy Spirit. If you don't show up, if you don't continue to show up, you will slowly disappear. And what I mean by that is that you will feel as if you don't matter. You would be in a room with everybody else. You could be in a room with hundreds, thousands of people, and they feel like you're in a room by yourself. Why? Because you're slowly disappearing. You're not showing up. You're not being intentional. You're not engaging. And all this comes to your confidence in God, is confidence in yourself, your confidence in your capabilities. Have you ever asked yourself, what am I good at? I mean that's a question some people have never asked themselves that. What am I good at? Just start jotting it down, writing it down. Now, on the flip side of that, you need to know what your weaknesses are too. Your strengths and your weaknesses. What are your weaknesses? Is it you spend too much? Is it gambling? Is it women? Is it men? Is it drugs and alcohol? Is it lying? Is it, I mean, what is it? Stealing, taking things that are not yours? What is your vice? Everybody got one. Some people got multiple ones. I remember when I had this bad breakup before my wife had this bad breakup, right? There was certain things that I couldn't take. Like it was certain smells. I was like, it made me think of her. Uh, Seeing certain things in commercials or anything, it was like, oh man, I remember when. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's I remember when. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's Beyonce. That's like Beyonce. Oh my gosh. Anyway, what's your weaknesses? What's your strengths? You need to know this in order to identify them. And when you identify them, it's like when you stop smoking or you stop drinking or you stop doing something, you have to replace that. A lot of times we say, kill your flesh and all this stuff like that, but we never replace it with anything. There's levels to this thing. Hmm. Yeah. You got to check your confidence, man, because if not, If you don't, I'm telling you, man, it's like lack of confidence can ruin your life. Because let me tell you something. I love being in church and I love serving, but there comes a point that you have to do things for yourself. Okay, check this out. When you go to a restaurant, the restaurant is called a waiter or waitress, or another word for him is what? Server, right? That server has to take a break, go get them something to eat, refill. They got to. They get them something to eat or they're going to pass out. You as a servant, a server, or serving in capacity of work, church, whatever, you must take time to refuel yourself. You must take time to eat. You look at all the scriptures that I can pull up, that it says Jesus left and went alone to pray for himself. All the miracles that he performed, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Before telling his disciples of his coming death, he spent time alone in prayer. This is Luke 19. This solitude was a regular habit for him. He prayed with his men, and even when he prayed alone, his men might be nearby. So Jesus always, no matter what he did, he would perform a miracle. He would be with the disciples. He would wait till they sleep or something. I mean, he said went alone to pray. You see that all through Scripture. In other words, Jesus made sure that he wasn't just giving himself to people, but that he was making sure that he had regular communion with God and he was filling himself up so that he could be a service to himself and people. Just think about it. Just think about if you go out and you just do stuff for the hungry, the poor, the church, preaching, teaching, whatever. Don't eat. Just say you don't eat. Not fasting, you just don't eat. Man, you're gonna what happens? You're gonna have a headache, you're gonna have pain. You got to refuel. You got to put something in with what you're pouring out of. And I think some of us lack in confidence because we're doing so much with everybody else that we don't make time to refuel ourselves. I talk about it a lot, and I'm gonna bring it up again. It's called the Johnny Bravo effect, right? The Johnny Bravo effect. If you look at the cartoon Johnny Bravo right here, you see how he's built. He's muscular up top, and he got these little legs. And a lot of us are built spiritually or built in our lives like Johnny Bravo because we push people, we pray for people, we pour into people, we do all these things for people, but we don't have enough confidence in ourselves. We'll pray a prayer for somebody to go get a job, maybe even the job we want, trusting they believing that they'll get it, but we don't even have enough confidence in our capabilities of what God put in us that we won't even get the job. Because we don't even have enough confidence in ourselves to trust God that we can get the job. Not just the job, anything. You know you ain't got the money for that house. You know you ain't got the. Now there are times God will say no. Because if you get this, you're going to be in a hole. No, absolutely not. You don't have because some of us, we can get things on faith. Some of us don't have finances. We have faith. Some of us have finances and don't have faith. Some people say it's faith, but no, you just got the money. That ain't faith. You got the money. Some of us are out here just operating on pure faith. How you get that faith? What do you mean? Like, I believed it. I don't know how the money's coming. I make this amount of much money, and this money is coming in from somewhere, and I pay my bills, still have all this money left over. Faith. Trusting in God. It's God. I ain't got the money. I don't make a lot of money. I love my job, and I don't make a lot of money. It's God. And then some people say it's God. You say, okay, yeah, it's God, but I know he provided you with a job, but you got the money. It ain't a lot of faith in that. It's just you got the money. That ain't faith. That's finances. I forgot what I was. I forgot what I was talking about. But we struggle in faith. We struggle in all of these things because our confidence is not where it should be, and now it affects us in every area of our life. Oh, the Johnny Bravo effect. We have faith enough for people. I pray, or we have enough confidence in our prayer, in that God would do it for. Matter of fact, it's like this. We believe God can do it. We just don't have enough confidence and trust that he can do it for us. I'm going to say that again. We know God can do it. We just don't trust that he can do it for us. And that's a sad way to live, saying that God can do it, but I don't think he can do it for me. Or I don't think he will do it for me. Maybe I've done too much, or maybe I don't know. I'm too bad, or maybe this just how life gonna live. I'm just gonna always struggle with my finances. I'm gonna always be looking out to make sure I don't go get my car. I'm gonna always get evicted. Stuff is always just gonna run out. I'm gonna do good for a little bit, it's gonna run out. Do good for a little bit, run out. The Johnny Bravo effect is when you're pointing to everybody else. Just like Johnny Bravo. He's built up top. Big, big, big. But his legs are skinny, skinny, skinny. You work out, right? With everybody else. You work out doing everybody else, but you don't do anything for your legs. In other words, you're not moving. You're not putting the exercise in your legs. You're not progressing in life because you're too busy at a standstill praying for people. Now, I'm not saying don't do this. By all means, please do this. But two things can be true. You can do this and do that. You have to, or you will die. And not just physically die, but you will die as like you become bitter. You becoming, even if you come to church, you just go to church, leave. You don't serve, you don't do anything, you don't engage in with people, you don't help people, you don't do just go to church and leave. Or you go to work, you don't help people, you don't stay late, you don't help the company, you don't help the people, you don't be nice people, you go to work, you leave. Please don't be like that. And God has put some amazing things inside of you. He has entrusted in you a lot of things. God put gifts and talents in us because he entrusted us like, I want you to use this. I put this in you, use this. Man, you got to keep going. I feel like going on. I feel like going on. Though trials may come on every hand, I feel like going on. Well, I feel like going on, man. You gotta feel like going on. You gotta check that confidence. You are great. You are dope at this. And let me tell you something. Even when you go out to venture to do things that you feel like God has put in you or things that you're good at, let's be honest. Some of the stuff, the very first stuff, ain't gonna be good. Your lives might not have a lot of people. All right, you starting off the engagement, the algorithm, all this stuff, but we know God can blow on that. But I'm just saying, sometimes God will let the very first parts or very things start to suck. It's not good. I think he do that on purpose to see if you're gonna keep going. Consistency, discipline, consistency, and confidence, man. We gotta have those key ingredients. I know I lacked in confidence and I lacked in consistency. When you lack in those two things, well, and discipline, like it don't work, something mess up, you gotta have the discipline to keep going. And you gotta trust, like, yo, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I gotta keep doing. Man, some of us supposed to be millionaires, and myself included. But I'm on this journey. 50 episodes. We be knocking them out. That's what I've been entrusted to do. I'm gonna do it. So we out here. Your confidence. Write the things down that you're good at. Maybe even try to find employment or find opportunities that you can use those gifts, talents, and things that God has put in you. It might not be at your church. Don't get mad at your church. It might be outside the church. I'm gonna tell you. A lot of times you can reach more people outside the church than you can in the church anyway. Might not be at your job. Might be outside your job. Maybe you got to do your regular job for a little bit, for a few years, and then slowly, as your thing expands, you be like, okay, I have no choice. This business is getting bigger, or this venture is getting bigger than my job, making way more money, and I need more time to focus in on it. All right, trust God, follow God, but God is not gonna tell you anything until you do the first thing He told you to do. This is my first thing. 50 episodes. Let's go. All right, y'all. Confidence, man. I was about to look something up, but I don't even remember. But we out here, man. We out here. Let's do this. Let's get it. God has great things for you, my friend, my sister, my brother. God has great things in store for you. And I can't wait to see it unfold. I'm excited about this. I don't know what this is going to do. I hope it's something that will change my life forever. And in the process, I'm changing lives. We're not just telling stories, we're changing lives, like Darwin say, huh? All right, y'all. Vince W. Matthews, Jesus Jokes and Jams. Keep tuning in. Hey, we're going to do some Q&As as well. Make sure you go to the app, get the Q&A. Let us know what you want me to talk about. And I got some guests coming up, so be prepared for that. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy walking to the confidence of God. Man, I can't wait to see what He's going to do in your life. All right? Y'all have a good one. We out here. My tambourine, man.